we get 100% of it. That's it for the announcements. And today, I wanted to talk about patience. Patience seems to be a lost virtue in our current society. In our society now, taking action is highly valued. And it's not just taking action, it's taking action quickly, getting things done as quickly as possible. This can be seen with our computers. Every year, they come out with computers that are faster and faster and faster. Cell phones, same thing. Almost every year, they come out with new cell phones, and these cell phones have a higher processing speed, so things are faster and faster. When people send texts or they send emails, they would prefer, if they don't expect, an immediate response to those things. A while ago, I was watching I believe it was on Netflix. This was a comedian, and he was talking about this issue which our society has now of getting things more quickly and more quickly and more quickly. And he was talking about Amazon. So when you go on Amazon and you purchase something from Amazon, people don't want to get whatever they bought a week later or 2 weeks later. They want either same-day service or next-day service. And so this comedian was talking about that, and he was saying a lot of people out there, they don't just want same-day service. When they push that purchase button on Amazon, they want somebody from Amazon to gently place in their hand their product immediately, so they have it now. So in this setting of the society where a lot of people want things done immediately, we have this issue of patience. And what is the definition of patience? Patience is the ability to remain calm when problems arise or difficult circumstances arise, and you don't get annoyed, you don't get angry, you don't get frustrated, and you don't complain. Patience is a virtue in and of itself, but it also happens to be the foundation for many other virtues, including love. A lot of us are familiar with 1 Corinthians 13. That's the famous passage from the Bible which talks about love. And I'm just going to read a section from 1 Corinthians chapter 13 because it talks about patience in relation to love. And what it says is, love is patient. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. In different parts of the Bible, for instance, Proverbs, when it talks about patience, and this is in Proverbs 16, it says that he who has patience is greater than the mightiest warrior. Again, he who has patience is greater than the mightiest warrior. So when we think about patience, I think it's instructive to analyze the polar opposite of patience, which is impatience. And what is impatience? Impatience is a self-centered, ego-driven response to a difficult circumstance or an annoying person, things of that nature. But let's talk about an example of this. I bring up this example because this has happened to me before, and I'm sure it's happened to many other people as well. So let's say you're at a grocery store. You're at Whole Foods or Safeway or Lucky's or Costco or whatever store you go to purchase your groceries. And you get all your groceries in your basket, and then you go to the checkout line. And you get into one of these lines where the cashier happens to be particularly slow. And it's delaying you getting out of the grocery store. And so as this cashier slowly checks the items of the person in front of you, you become more and more frustrated and more annoyed. And you start thinking to yourself, what is possibly taking this cashier so long? How hard is it to check these food items? These types of thoughts, which are derived from impatience, do you see how they are so self-centered and ego-driven? They derive from this belief that if we were the cashier, things would obviously go much more smoothly. If we were the cashier, we'd check each of those food items and we'd get people out of that store. It derives from this belief that our time is more important than other people's time. So how dare that cashier take long checking out those items? The plans that we have for the day are more worthwhile than other people's plans. So again, how dare that cashier take so much time checking out these items? When you think about it, impatience is a rejection of the present moment. It is a rejection of things as they are happening. Impatience derives from this desire to control everything. And if you were able to control everything, then everything would work perfectly. Impatience is a rejection of living in the moment, accepting things as they are, and accepting that you are supposed to be there in that moment, dealing with whatever that circumstance is. All of us have been impatient at one point or another in our lives. All of us are faced with people that have annoyed us. Instead of, if we're faced with an annoying person, instead of complaining about it, either within our mind or outspoken about it, we should see this as an opportunity for growth. I like to analogize these situations where we're in traffic and we're going to be late to this appointment that we're supposed to be at, or we're in line at the grocery store and we have the slow checker, or we're talking to somebody and they take 10 minutes to get to a point of a story when it should have taken them 30 seconds. And we're getting impatient. These are opportunities because people who annoy us or situations that annoy us are our greatest teachers. And I wanted to share a Buddhist story about this. This is the story of the buffalo. And the story goes as follows. There was a bodhisattva who came back as a buffalo in one of his rebirths and lived with a mischievous monkey in the forest. The monkey used to trouble the buffalo every day by either pulling the buffalo's tail, throwing nuts on the buffalo's head, or jumping from the treetop onto the buffalo's back. Though disturbed by the monkey's pranks, the buffalo bore everything patiently and without complaining. The other animals of the forest saw this and wondered why the buffalo tolerated all of the mischief of the monkey without losing his patience. Unable to hold back his curiosity, an elephant one day asked the buffalo why he never punished the truant monkey. At this, the buffalo smiled and said he was thankful to the monkey for teaching him how to be patient. All of us have the ability to transform impatience into patience. It's how you respond to a situation. And if nothing else, we all understand that we control our response to people, places, and things. Being patient brings calmness to your mind so that when you are faced with difficulties or challenging people, you're not tossed about like a ship on an ocean in a storm. Being patient allows you to be compassionate. Compassionate to the person or the circumstance that is potentially annoying to you and frustrating for you and can build up these negative emotions. Because you have to look at the situation, you have to live in the present, be in the present, and understand why that other person is acting the way they are, why they are saying the things they are saying, why this situation has arisen in your life. Being patient allows you to address mindfully what role you played in the situation. So for instance, let's say you have an important appointment at work. And instead of leaving on time, you leave a little bit late, 5 or 10 minutes late. And because you left those 5 or 10 minutes late, you get caught in traffic on the highway going to your office. What a lot of people would do is become frustrated and angry and annoyed that they're stuck in this traffic, which is going to make them even later for this important appointment. They don't spend a lot of time thinking about what role they played in the situation. They're thinking about, why is there so many cars on the highway today? Where is everyone going today? Why is everyone preventing me from getting to my job on time? Being patient allows you to be that person on the river in your raft, going with the flow of the river, instead of constantly trying to swim against the current, constantly trying to swim upstream. It is a recognition that you are in that situation for a reason, that you are supposed to be in that situation, that it is an opportunity, if nothing else, for you to grow, to practice patience. A lot of people confuse patience with being passive or not taking action. But that is a misunderstanding of what patience is. We've been talking about how we all have the power to choose our response to a person, place, or circumstance. Patience allows you to respond not from ego, not from ignorance, not from anger, not from annoyance or frustration, but from a place of calm, a place of acceptance, a place of compassion, and a place of understanding. That is why patience is not only, like I said, a virtue in and of itself, but the foundation for other virtues, including perhaps the most important virtue of all, love. You cannot express loving kindness without patience. And that's what I wanted to share today. And now we have time